from WesternU who are also in attendance. Dr. Diane Brinks, immediate past president of CPMA. Thank you for being here. We're here today to continue a valued tradition at Western University of Health Sciences that began years ago. The university has many traditions that have evolved over the past 45 years. However, this particular ceremony is significant in that it truly symbolizes our institutional and educational philosophy of educating skilled and compassionate healthcare professionals who are excellent in science and compassionate in caregiving. You have my highest regard, and I wish you all success. Welcome Week and White Coat ceremony could not be possible without our gracious donors. I'd like to take a moment to thank Dr. Diane Brinks, who has joined us today to help don our students' white coats, in addition to personally sponsoring a portion of today's ceremony. Thank you, Dr. Brinks. I would also like to thank Blaine Labs, the old Podiatric Supply and Equipment Company, and Gord Labs for their continued support. I'm here to introduce our speakers and faculty. Please rise momentarily as I introduce you. Mr. John Forby, Board of Trustees of Western University Health Sciences. Guest speaker from CPMA and President of the California Podiatric Medical Association. Keynote speaker, Dr. Michael Cornelison, President of the American College of Foot and Ankle Surgeons and a past President of the California Podiatric Medical Association. Dr. Kelly Parks, Assistant Professor of Podiatric Medicine, Surgery, and Biomechanics. Dr. Assistant Professor of Podiatric Medicine, Surgery, and Biomechanics. Dr. M. Douglas Otten, Executive Pastor of Valley Christian Church. And our faculty, Dr. Clark, Dr. Estes, Dr. Hunter, Dr. Johnson, Dr. Gil, Dr. Moore, Dr. Warren, Dr. Swami, and Dr. Lee. Now please help me welcome our very own Evan Marisol. Evan's a rising second-year student doctor and a Salt Ambassador to our college. And please join me in standing as we face our nation's flag as Evan leads us in the national anthem.
Hey everybody, congratulations. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Valley Christian Church as he leads our invitation.
I'm honored to be here to pray. I'm honored to be here to pray with you students today, and I'm honored to be with the family and friends that are supporting these students as they're going to go forward and become doctors, which is an amazing feat in and of itself. Before I pray, I'd like to take a minute to share something with you, because I think that our professions have some similarities. And 35 years ago, when I was getting ready to go to my profession, I came across this quote, which I thought was quite profound. And so I want to share it with you today in a brief way of how I interpreted and used it during my time as being a pastor. The quote was this: to gain knowledge, one must study. And you guys are in the throes of that right now. It's study and study and study. And you will continue to study for a while to go. The second part of the quote was this: but to gain wisdom, one must observe. Now, observation doesn't have to be just looking, but it is a big part of it. And if you want to go on and you want to be great doctors, and each and every one of you do, to learn, to observe will give you wisdom, which is completely different than knowledge. You will have the knowledge, but you apply it through wisdom. The knowledge is the sciences and medicine, and the wisdom is dealing with people. Over the years, I've used it in this way. The very first thing that I use when I'm interacting with people to observe is nonverbal communication. That will benefit you when a patient comes to see you and you're looking at them. Are they afraid? Are they anxious? Are they mad? Do they look confused? Do they look concerned? You can read all those and you can teach yourself to see those things in people. The second thing is hearing and listening to what they have to say. And every conversation that you have with somebody will have subtext connected to it. People come to me and they want me to pray for them and they have to be going on their lives, and I hear what they say and then I hear the subtext underneath of what the real issue might be. You will use that well with your patients. Are you taking your medication? Oh yeah, I'm taking all of it. So wisdom will be huge in helping you to be a doctor. You can start practicing that right now. For those of you guys that are third-year students left and the fourth-year students, there will be time. There will be time when you're getting ready for a big test and there will be tears. There will be time when you feel anxious. There will be times when you have doubt. All those are a part of preparing for something and waiting to get to that final step that you are a doctor and you have patience. You can keep an eye on each other as a cohort that's moving together through these years of your school. And when one of your cohorts, you see that in it because you just took a minute to look, just took a minute to see, like, oh my gosh, they look upset. They look like they're having doubts. They look like whatever the case may be. Do you know how much a word of encouragement can change everything? Just a simple word of encouragement can make a huge difference. So much so, it would be likewise with your patients. A word of encouragement when you're treating them will go a long way. With that said, let me pray. Lord, I don't want this prayer to just be for today or for the 3 or 4 years that they have left. I want this prayer to be for a lifetime. You have given these students a gift. In the book of Corinthians, it talks about the gift of healing. Not anybody can be a doctor. So they're gifted with the way they see things and understand things and the compassion that lies within their heart that they said, I want to help people. I pray that you would give them favor, not just today or tomorrow, but for the rest of their lives as they interact and they're there to stand with patients that you be advocating for. That they will take care of them. That they will be honest with them. That they will have integrity with them. Because there will be nothing better than at the end of the day when they go home and they know that they've acted to the best of their ability and everything that they did, the best of what they practice in the medicine in the field that they're in. When they lay their head down on that hill to go to sleep, and they know if they've done a job and they've done it well. They will sleep well. My prayer is that you'll have a fruitful practice, and that each and every night you go to bed, you will sleep well. Amen.
Now I'd like to call forward Mr. John Courtney, our Board of Trustees member representing Western University of Health Sciences.
Good morning, distinguished guests, faculty, staff, and most important, our future doctors. On behalf of the university, welcome to the College of Podiatry's White Coat Ceremony. We are gathered here together today to continue a valued tradition at Western University of Health Science. The White Coat Ceremony was started at Columbia University in 1991 and has been adopted at many health profession schools. By having a ceremony where entering students are cloaked with their very first white lab coat, we are calling attention to the individual's choice to become a doctor. And of equal importance, bringing to focus the true meaning of their choice, that you must cure but also care. Students, soon you will be cloaked with your first white coat. Wear it as a badge of pride, symbolizing your choice to become a doctor of podiatry. You are entering Western University at an exciting time. You will have the opportunity to participate in didactic and clinical activities with other students of Western University. You will graduate with a better understanding of what other health professionals do and will also know how to participate in and or promote the team approach to patient care and health care management. As the white coat is placed on your shoulders today, remember that you are entering into the very special field of healing arts and education. In the future, you will be sought after for your knowledge, skill, and caring. This coat carries with it a responsibility to be excellent in science, compassionate in caregiving, and knowledge in education. In closing, you have all made a fine selection for personal and professional success. Welcome to Western University. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Forbin. Dr. Holly Spahn-Gross, President of the California Podiatric Medical Association.
Welcome. On behalf of the California Podiatric Medical Association, I'd like to congratulate you for your hard work that brought you here today. You are now embarking on a podiatric medical career that will be fulfilling and rewarding. It will also be very exciting because it's a time right now where we have wonderful new technological breakthroughs, and we are showing how we impact healthcare and deliver medicine. I'd also like to thank all of you, the parents and families that support you. They are your foundation and will be extremely important as you continue this journey in podiatric medicine. The CPMA is also here to support you. We are your cornerstone in your career. We are your association, the association that will help guide you every step of the way. Our mission, it is the mission of the California Podiatric Medical Association to promote, advance, and protect the specialty of podiatric medicine, to preserve the rights of the patients it serves with integrity, equality, and justice, and to seek continuous improvement in the quality of patient care and treatment. The CPMA is a valuable resource for you. We offer legal assistance, educational programs, practice resources and assistance programs. We also have a diversity, equality, and inclusion representation for you. We also offer a lot of leadership opportunities. CPMA wants you to know that we are here for you at every point, from being a student, maybe in leadership, and as you apply for your residency, or even look for a new job, and you may need to negotiate a contract, or you may be buying your first practice or selling one. We are here for you. The CPMA also works with legislators, state officials, hospitals, community leaders to ensure that you are represented and our patients that we serve in California. We work with legislators also in Sacramento and in Washington to pass legislation. So it's very exciting, and I encourage you to get involved. We not only just passed a bill a few years ago, AB 1153, thank you, Dr. Mulmer, which increased our scope to include leg ulcers. This is very important. It was historic. And now we are working on Bill 1704, which is a radiology bill that will allow our MAs to become certified to take lower extremity radiographs in our office. Again, we are always here looking to ways to improve us in practice. The CPMA plans to continue building on these monumental gains as well as strengthen our relationships with our established medical colleagues, such as the CMA and the OPSC. They recognize that we are equivalent, and they are here to help, willing to make sure that we are represented. Furthermore, you play an important role as well, and that is that you sit side beside your osteopathic colleagues, and you will receive an equivalent education. This helps us to better further your representation in medicine. Our number one goal, of course, is to achieve full parity. And so by doing this, we will allow the ability for you to have the ability to practice as a physician and surgeon within the full scope justified by our level of education and training. That said, do you realize that podiatric medicine is the only one that guarantees a surgical career? Now, this is really amazing because so many people don't realize this. And allopathic and osteopathic degrees, of course, afford this chance, but the competition is fierce. And yet you, after your 4 years of school, 3 years of residency training, will end up being a surgeon. Now, this is incredible, and it's an exciting time, again, to be in podiatric medicine. You, of course, can specialize in podiatric primary care, in surgery, orthopedics, sports medicine, podogeriatrics, and podopediatrics. So it's really the best kept secret in medicine. It's an excellent career choice, especially now when we're on the cusp of numerous technological revolutions. It's pretty awe-inspiring. We have advancements in robotics and 3D printers that have profoundly changed how we do surgery. We're able to create prototypes and simulate surgical planning in order to produce more effective outcomes. We also have a monumental breakthrough in wound care. We use stem cells and biologics, and we advance the wound care practice and also make it better for the medical team to heal diabetic wounds. So again, I've said this before, it's a very exciting time, and I have no doubt that each one of you will thrive. The CPMA looks forward to working with you, and And as you progress through your podiatric medical school, we look forward to the relationships with you as colleagues in the future. We wish you every success as you seek and find your passion in podiatric medicine, a career that will be very fulfilling. I would like you, at the end, you're going to get a pin and wear it proudly, but I'd also like you to sign up because it is free to become a member of the CPMA, and that's how we get to start to work with you. And before I go, I do want to mention one more thing, and that is I just want to share why I'm here today as a podiatric surgeon. So I come from a family of physicians that stretch back 4 generations from my great-granduncle, my grandfather, were general practitioners, my father, a general surgeon. Okay, and then I'm a podiatric surgeon. My sister's an ER doctor, my husband's an internist and hospitalist, so it definitely is in our family. And I have definitely had the luxury of receiving a long-term education in medicine, learning from a very, very young age that it's from a very age that what it takes really to become a physician. I've learned that it's not just the hard work, the long hours, sleepless nights that makes a physician. It's the humility. It's the compassion. It's the selfless giving and caring for others. Your community, your friends, your family will now look up to you as leaders. You will have someone else ask you for their trust and support, for your trust and support. You will be expected to help those in need. In the words of Sir William Osler, the practice of medicine is an art, not a trade. It's a calling, not a business. Honestly, it is the greatest career that one can choose. It is rewarding and exciting, but it is not a job. It is a way of life. The white coat is a powerful symbol of professionalism, compassion, and honor, and it comes with moral responsibility. But don't forget, when you wear that coat and it comes off, you are still held to those same standards. I witnessed my father, a general surgeon, who was respected and admired throughout his community. I assisted him with neighborhood injuries and had to help sew them up. I saw family members seek counsel from him when they learned of a life-changing diagnosis. They trusted him because he listened, he cared, and he was a leader of the pillar and a support in our community. But it was his surgical skills that set him apart from so many other physicians. He had that surgical skill set that would correct and permanently change the outcome of a patient. He saved lives. That's why I went into podiatric medicine. I wanted to help others, treat and care for them, and have the surgical skill set that could truly correct and make a difference in someone's life and change it forever. That is the gift. That is why you are here today, and that is what you possess when you are done. You will all be leaders in your community, and soon will be asked they'll be asked for your advice and support. You will be asked to use your surgical skills to alter, fix, and correct someone's feet. That's a huge honor, and it is humbling. It is the gift. So when you put on your white coat, wear it with pride and know with great things are going to happen to you. And always remember that the CPMA is here for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Spahn-Gross. Next, I'd like to call forward Dr. Michael Cornelison.
Good morning. To the class of 2026, your assembled family and friends, and there's a lot of them here, all for you. To the faculty and esteemed guests, it is truly exciting for me to have the distinct privilege of welcoming our newest members of the family of podiatric medicine and surgery as you don your white coats for the first time. It was almost 30 years ago that I was sitting in an auditorium in Chicago, feeling the same excitement, the same uncertainty, and the same eagerness about what would lie ahead as you do now. 30 years ago, and those feelings are just as fresh as ever as I think to the days still ahead of me in my own journey, just as they were when I sat in a seat very much like you are now. Now, seeing as I was in Chicago, obviously I didn't attend the Western University College of Podiatric Medicine. Alas, the school was not around yet. But if it had been just minutes away from my childhood home in Riverside, where my father and my sister still live, quite likely I would have been here. It's possible even that in the class of 1997, my longtime friends, Dr. Leibovitz and even Dr. Spahn-Gross, class of 97, would have been classmates here. But that said, I'm very fortunate to have had the opportunity to associate with this amazing institution and many of its faculty over the years. And also, while I didn't get to attend podiatric medical school here myself, it is a bit of a nice consolation prize that I'm able to do so a bit vicariously through my daughter, who is a second-year student here. So these are more than just lab coats that you're putting on today. These are white coats. There's a reason your coat is white. Historically, in the early 19th century, physicians adopted wearing lab coats to represent themselves as scientists, at a time when medicine was popularly associated with quackery and mysticism. Soon the white lab coat became preferred over the traditional beige to represent the ideal of purity of science in medicine. I like to think of it a little bit differently as well. I mean, after all, a white outfit is a traditional mark of being one of the good guys. Indeed, by donning a white coat, you have chosen to follow an honorable path, a pure calling to care for your fellow human beings. The white coat has been described as a cloak of compassion. But what else does donning your white coat today mean? You all have unique stories of how you ended up in the chair you're sitting in right now. No doubt you've spent this past week learning about your classmates' stories while sharing your own. And I'm sure you've recognized some similarities among these stories, but ultimately your whole story is yours and yours alone. But once you've donned those white coats that you hold on your laps today, take a second look around, and of course you will see one obvious commonality. You are now part of a team. At some point, we've all put on a uniform for the first time. Maybe it was your first Little League or softball team, maybe a marching band uniform, drill team or spirit squad uniform for a service organization. Maybe it was a graduation gown, or just a set of matching costumes that you wore to an event with some friends. Remember how you felt at that time. You might find it hard to put into words exactly what that feeling was, but it was probably a lot like what you're feeling today. Part of it most certainly comes from the realization that you've just become part of something bigger than just yourself, something that's stronger than the sum of its parts. You're part of a team. More than this is your team, and no one else's. Your team has its own special identity, and I challenge you to embrace that. In fact, I think the class of 26 can also already claim something fairly special. I'll ask Siri to help me out here. Siri, how many bones are there in the human foot? Okay. Please read it. It says right here. This worked when I was practicing it. Siri said there are 26 bones of the foot, consisting of 8 distinct types, including tarsals, metatarsals, phalanges, cuneiforms, talus, navicular, and cuboid bones. So in fact, the class of 26 has something in common with the human foot, 26 bones. If you don't count the sesamoids, which you'll learn about. 26 bones. So I'm sure you'll find more profound qualities that are unique to your class, but I thought I'd give you a head start, for better or worse. So now that you're on this team, I thought I'd talk a little bit about what it looks like to be a good teammate. Remember that the team is strongest when the focus is on the team itself and not the individuals. It may sound silly in your role as a podiatric medical student, but I think that it holds true for you now, as it certainly would for any other team, and it certainly will be true as you venture into your own practice as a foot and ankle specialist in the interdisciplinary world of healthcare. I'm a UCLA alumnus myself, so I'm a bit self-indulgent in evoking the great Bruin basketball coach, John Wooden. My wife's probably over here rolling her eyes right now, because I do this all the time. In his multiple words of his wisdom. You'll hear a few of the sayings today, one of which is that the star of the team is the team itself. One of the most impressive things about the institution you've chosen to attend to pursue your podiatric medical education is its recognition that the learning is optimized in a collaborative environment rather than when one focuses almost exclusively on independent learning. When members of a group work together and are allowed to utilize their individual strengths to solve a problem, the results are almost always better than if each had worked on their own individually. Even the gunner benefits from the work of that collaboration. And if you're the gunner, take the opportunity to recognize that what you've gained from the others in your group. Coach Wooden taught us his teams and subsequently his coaching disciples. It's amazing how much we can accomplish when it doesn't matter who gets the credit. As much as it may be difficult to not take individual credit for achievements or to not flaunt your own strengths, also do your best to recognize that others on your team may be better at some things than you are. Rather than be resentful, encourage others to utilize their strengths and take the opportunity to personally learn from them. It's important to recognize that such an attitude does not diminish your strength and your role on the team. C.S. Lewis said that humility is not thinking less of yourself, but thinking of yourself less. As a member of your team, you will depend upon others of your, you will depend on the efforts of your teammates as well as your own. You can influence this, but endeavor to do so in a positive way. Coach Wooden also said, greatness is found in bringing out greatness in others. Well, how do you do this? Another great coach was the late Tony DeCicco, who guided the U.S. women's national soccer team to the 1996 Olympic gold medal and famously to winning the 1999 World Cup, Women's World Cup, right here in Pasadena. His philosophy is also the title of his autobiography, Catch Them Being Good. Like a bad Yelp review, it's very easy to find when someone else is perceivably doing something wrong and to call it out. It is much more challenging, but even more effective, to be inclined to identify someone doing something right and to share with your team that you've recognized it. It's said that the smallest gestures can make the biggest difference. So I challenge you to catch your teammates being good. As a team, you will celebrate your collective success, but an effective team will also share the burdens of its setbacks. Such a team works to fix the problem rather than fixing the blame on someone else for it. Setbacks are the byproduct of challenging yourself, and there will be plenty of opportunities to take on challenges through your 4 years. Challenges mean leaving your comfort zone and exploring the unknown. When you venture into the unfamiliar, you will make mistakes. And one of the greatest things about this point in your career is that you can afford to make mistakes. And as James Joyce wrote, mistakes are the portals of discovery. So when you make a mistake, rather than make excuses, embrace it as part of your own training and commit to avoiding making the same mistake twice. Such mistakes are not failures, especially when you own up to them. But rather, as Coach Wooden said, failure begins with blaming others for your mistakes. During the times when things seem to not be working out so well, it will likely be not too difficult to see a teammate taking it hard, particularly if they feel that they didn't perform up to as well as they should have. You can call them out, you can point to them behind their backs, while internally thanking goodness that it wasn't you. Or you can recognize that eventually, at some point, that will be you. And for the sake of your teammate, your team, and ultimately yourself, instead pick them up, help dust them off, and get going again together. There will be times when you recognize that, either for yourself or for one of your teammates, things will seem to become too much that you can handle. A good teammate will know when it's time to ease each other's burdens. If you've not yet become familiar with the TikTok personality, Dr. Glockenflecken, I suspect you will be very soon. Who's heard of Dr. Glockenflecken here? I see a few smiles both among students and faculty as well. He's got some incredibly hilarious videos, but they are also hilariously accurate. When you have the chance, catch on YouTube his keynote address to the Yale School of Medicine's commencement ceremony earlier this year. It's a ceremony very much like one that awaits you in 4 seemingly arduously long years, but actually these will be very deceptively short years for you. Yes, at a medical school where you might expect the commencement keynote to be given by someone like, say, the Surgeon General, the graduating class of Yale chose a social media influencer. So I suppose that just goes to show how much of an impact he's made on medical students and the rest of us as well. Anyway, he shares a very personal story that ultimately revolves around one of these gadgets. Can any of you identify what one of these is? Indeed, it's what we used before smartphones were practical to keep track of students and residents 24 hours, 7 days a week, a pager. And in his story, Dr. Glockenflecken explained that he'd just been notified of his own cancer diagnosis as he was starting his shift taking call during his critical care rotation residency. His supervising fellow, remarkably, recognized that, well, he was clearly overwhelmed and not likely suitable in a suitable state of mind to be on call. He told Dr. Glockenflecken to give him the call pager. So the fellow took call for his junior resident that night, and Dr. Glockenflecken has remained eternally grateful to be freed of the burden when he clearly needed to be. So in his speech to the Yale graduating class, Dr. Glockenflecken urged the new Yale graduates to take the pager when they recognize that a colleague is overwhelmed. Well, I presume none of you have one of these, but I encourage you to take the proverbial pager from a teammate who is obviously overwhelmed and make it so that you can have confidence in your team that someone will take the pager off of you when you need it as well. When you know you can count on your teammates to pick you up when you're down or help you through the tough times, you'll have the courage to face challenges that lie ahead. That doesn't make it any less scary, but your confidence will soar. As Mark Twain wrote, courage is the mastery of fear, not the absence of fear. Finally, I'd like to share one more thought with you. I'd mentioned before that your graduation is 4 years from now and a seemingly long way away. You also may feel that you have little idea of what to expect to happen over the next 4 years. In all honesty, the end of this road is not that far off. And rather than being the ending, it will be the beginning of the next chapter of your adventure into this amazing profession. Part of the motto of the American College of Foot and Ankle Surgeons is lifelong learners. Indeed, and as it's been said, and Coach Wooden reiterated, it is what you learn after you already know it all that really counts. You will learn more than you could ever imagine over the next 4 years here, but probably the most important thing you will learn is how to keep learning. Medicine won't stop evolving the day you graduate from here or on the day you finish your residency either, but you will come out of Western University poised to remain on the cutting edge of medical knowledge. And the more you stand by those wearing the same white coats that you will be all wearing today, the more true that will be as you continue to be teammates with one another long after you leave the halls of Western University. So thank you again for the honor of being among the first of your colleagues to welcome you to the family of podiatric physicians and surgeons. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Cornelison. Next, we have Dr. Kelly Parks, who will deliver the history of the white coat ceremony.
All right, good morning. In the world of medicine, the white coat ceremony is in its infancy. The practice of medicine dates back over 7,000 years, and the first medical texts were written in ancient Egypt almost 4,000 years ago. The widely known work of Hippocrates, who is often referred to as the father of medicine, is nearly 2,500 years old. Meanwhile, a rite of passage as you enter the healthcare professions did not exist until 1993, when the Gold Foundation held the first white coat ceremony at the Columbia University College of Physicians and Surgeons. Dr. Arnold Gold, a professor of clinical neurology and pediatrics, felt that technological advances in healthcare were extremely beneficial, yet they potentially eroded the human connection with patients he felt was critical to caring for patients. So instead of waiting to pledge your commitment to your patients and their families when you take the Hippocratic Oath at graduation, Dr. Gold and his wife created the white coat ceremony to emphasize humanism as the central tenet of healthcare at the beginning of your medical education. The ceremony stresses the compassion, that must be combined with scientific knowledge and advancements and serves as a rite of passage welcoming you to healthcare practice. According to the Gold Foundation, the most important aspect of the ritual is the oath you take before your family, faculty, and university administration, recognizing your obligation and expressing your commitment to care for your patients. The white coat ceremony has a profound impact on healthcare. Just a few short years after the first ceremony, most US medical schools adopted the practice. Now, only 29 years after the first white coat ceremony, it spans 99% of all accredited medical schools in the United States and is held in medical schools in 19 other countries. The ceremony is also held in more than 360 nursing schools, at colleges of podiatric medicine, physician assistant schools, and many other healthcare programs. While the reach of the ceremony is astounding in just a short period of time, the personal impact of this rite of passage is also inspiring. Consistent with the original ceremony rituals, you will be presented with a white coat, which represents much more than a way of keeping clothing clean. Similar to the weight of the oath, the white coat carries a humbling responsibility, symbolic of the trust and confidence patients place in you, and the moral and ethical responsibilities that come with patients and their loved ones who rely on you. Now, take a moment. Think about those who have helped get you to this point, your families, friends, loved ones, mentors, many of whom are here today. As you begin to learn the intricacies of the body and mind and about treating patients, recall those who have supported and mentored you, and never forget the lessons you have already learned. The lessons about being kind, caring, about having compassion for others, and about respect. Wear your white coat with pride. And wear your coat knowing its symbolism, with the understanding that you take the oath today at the beginning of your journey, not so you can provide care to your patients, but so you remember to care for your patients. As Theodore Roosevelt once said, no one cares how much you know until they know how much you care. Thank you, and welcome to the class of 2026.
Thank you, Dr. Park. Will the students come forward to introduce themselves and receive their white coat?
Josh Barton, Cedar Hills, Utah.
David Howden, Dallas, Oregon.
Min Kao, Santa Rosa, California.
Jessica Rangel, Garden Grove, California.
Leanne Chang, Diamond Bar, California.
Kimia Tagavi, Dallas, Texas. Sarah Hosseini, Dallas, Texas.
Shania Prada, Redlands, California.
Rehabil Yusuf, Redlands, California.
Natalia Roslowski Gamboa, San Diego, California.
Chung Pham, Seattle, Washington.
Ruthanna Belden, Orange, California. Selma Ku, Honolulu, Hawaii. Abigail Ross, Long Beach, California.
Isaiah Claudio, Fullerton, California.
Christine Powell, Lisa Viejo, California.
Vajihe Rajay Guchan, Las Vegas, Nevada.
Susie Daftian, Los Angeles, California.
Elizabeth Sylvester, Columbus, Ohio. Ramisha Asif Satar, Sacramento, California.
Ryan Wilson, Bergen County, New Jersey.
Jeremy Shi, Bakersfield, California.
Alex Gifford, Salt Lake City, Utah.
Akib Hassan, Chicago, Illinois.
Puya Tabianian, Dallas, Texas.
Aide Bel Alvarez, Indio, California.
Hannah Bakhta, La Palma, California.
Charlene Lee from Taiwan.
Nyanika Aurora, Colorado Springs, Colorado.
Jeremy Skelton, Mesa, Arizona.
Joel Pereira, Houston, Texas.
Michael Nunez, San Francisco, California.
Kevin Tumanian, Glendale, California.
Kyriakos Thomas, Los Angeles, California.
Congratulations, class of 2026. Dr. Nuvong. I'd like to invite Dr. Nuvong to the podium to administer the podiatric medical oath.
Thank you. So, class of 2026, please rise and read with me from the oath card provided in your envelope. Guests may also follow along, starting on page 11 of the program. Will faculty, member of the profession, please also stand. So please read along with me. I do solemnly swear to my God on my honor, to those who have taught me, and by all things that I hold sacred, that as a practitioner of podiatric medicine, I shall abide by the following precepts. I shall above all hold paramount the welfare of my patient, regardless of fee or favor. I shall neither prescribe nor give any treatment or drug which will be detrimental to their well-being. I shall endeavor to uphold the dignity of the professional way of life and the aims of which are to render public service. I shall cherish those who have taught me, holding high their principle and precepts, and I pledge that I shall do everything that I'm able to do to promote and to protect the profession of podiatric medicine and to aid my fellow practitioners. In swearing to this oath, I hereby dedicate myself in service to the health of humanity and hold as my goal the relief of pain and suffering. If I keep this oath, may I receive God's guidance in the practice of my art and may I enjoy my life in the respect of all. Thank you. You may be seated. Congratulations, class of 2026.
Thank you, Dr. Cornelison, Mr. Forbin, Dr. Spahn-Gross, Dr. Parks, and Dr. Nuvong. Before we close today's ceremony, will the class of DPM 2026 look at the words of wisdom found in your envelopes that you've been holding. These words have been passed on to you from others that have walked in your shoes. Take a moment to read them and know that you're not alone in this journey, and we are here to support you. Please carry these words with you as you embark on this journey and know that one day you will have your own insight to share with future generations who will be sitting where you are today. The administration, faculty, and staff would like to acknowledge and thank all of our guests who are present today. We are truly delighted that the Doctor of Podiatric Medicine class of 2026 is now part of the CPM family. Welcome. We ask that the family members and guests please stay seated until administration, faculty, and students have recessed out of the room for their class picture. Your loved one will return to celebrate with you momentarily. And again, we'd like to officially welcome the Doctor of Podiatric Medicine, class of 2026, into the WesternU College of Podiatric Medicine family and the DPM profession. Congratulations.